Hi, and welcome to Google Developers Life. My name is Peng, and with me today is my colleague Maru.
Hi, Peng.
Hey Maru. Today we're talking about the Wallet Objects API. Specifically, we'll be going over the Wallet Objects Quickstart sample. We have a number of different Wallet Object Quickstart samples, and today we're going to be focusing on the PHP example. The Quickstarts are designed to provide sample code to help you understand the API and to help you hit the ground running when you start integrating the Wallet Objects API. In the Quickstarts, we show a few things. We show how we have sample code to help you authorize access, to show you how to insert a Wallet Objects class, to create a new Wallet Objects, and to save that Wallet Object using the saved Wallet API. And lastly, we also show the Web Service API to enable account linking and sign up from the Google Wallet app. You can find additional information about getting the Quickstart up and running on our developer site, developers.google.com/commerce/wallet/objects. And to show you how to get it up and running, here's Maru.
Thanks, Peng. So let's start going to the documentation like Peng said. If you go to our documentation, developers.google.com/commerce/wallet/objects, you'll find that we have Quickstart samples and click on PHP. So today we're going to look at the PHP sample. It's the same, very similar to our other samples, but we're going to go over the details on how to run it using PHP specifically. So the first thing that we recommend is that you watch the account setup video that we have. It's already on the documentation, so just watch that. And once you have your credentials set up, you'll need to get your service account email address and also a copy of your private key that you download when you create your credentials. After you do that, the first thing that we need to do is download the Quickstart project. So to do that, we'll go into GitHub, and the Quickstarts are open source, and you can find them on our GitHub repository, github.com/Google Wallet. And look for the PHP one here, Wallet Objects-Quickstart-PHP. So just click on that, and from there you can either download the code as a zip file or you can clone it. So I'm just going to copy the URL so I can clone it locally here. In here I have, let me see where I am. I'm going to then clone the code, and this is making a local copy of it. And okay, so it's done. Now I'm going to go into the directory that I just cloned. And the first thing I need to do is copy my private key that we downloaded, and I have a copy of it on the directory above. So P12. Copy it in the same directory. So now I have it here. And then let's configure the project. To do that, we need to edit the file config.php. And we're going to open our editor here. And I'm going to go into the Quickstarts and look for the PHP config.php file. This file, in this file, we need to change a few of these parameters. The first one is the service account email address. So to get our service account email address, we need to go into the Google Cloud Console. And in here, click on the APIs and look for the app that you registered where you got your credentials. And look for the email address that ends with developer.gserviceaccount.com. Copy that and just paste it in here. And this is the right place here. And then let's look for our issuer ID. Our issuer ID can be found on the merchant dashboard. And for that, go into the account management page and copy your issuer ID. And we're going to paste it here. And the next one that we have is the private key. So the private key, if you have the same name that I have, which is Wob's private key, that P12, you can leave this as this, or if you change the name, just please update that. The application name, we have a Wallet Objects demo. You can change this to any name. Does not have to match anything, any of your credentials or anything that you created already. It's just for OAuth purposes, so we can leave that as we have it here. The origins is a list of URLs that are used to allow the Save to Wallet button to load on your page. On our case, we're going to be running the sample under localhost 8080. So we have that URL here. But if we need to run it on another URL, like we're going to be running it also on the on App Engine, then we can just copy here and php.appspot.com, and that way it will also load on that URL. Then we have 4 values here for the loyalty class ID and object ID, and the same for the offer. These values you don't need to change, but since we've been running the Quickstart to test, then we already have these objects created on our account. So what we'll do here is that we'll modify them, and you can modify them after you've created if you want to keep making changes to it. So loyalty class PHP, I think I have probably 10 of them. So let me put 20 here to make sure that I don't have that already. So we're going to be creating a loyalty class PHP 20 and an object ID loyalty object PHP 20. So after we do this, then we are ready to run the Quickstart. So how can you run the Quickstart? We have the Quickstart is, we can either run it using Apache or we can run it using App Engine. So on our local server, we're going to use Apache to show you how it runs, and then we'll upload it to App Engine. Then we can use it on our web service API. So here local, the first thing that you need to do is, if you're going to run it using Apache, is make sure you have Apache running, Apache installed. If you don't have it, then install it. On the Mac, by default, it's already installed. So how you make sure that it's there is it's Apache CTL. So I have it running, I have it on my computer here, and I'm going to start my, before we do that, you need to make sure that you have on your Apache config file in here. First we have the port here, listen. We have it running on port 8080, which is here, and then we also have a new directory root for our site. In this case here, we have wallet objects Quickstart PHP. So you'll need to have some rewrite rules that you can copy paste from our documentation. So don't worry about this, just copy paste what we have, and this will allow some of the paths to work. Also, we need to make sure that we have PHP enabled. So just make sure that you uncomment the PHP module here on the config, and you also need to have mod rewrite. So you also need to uncomment the rewrite module. So uncomment those. If you don't have them uncommented, modify, add your rewrite rules, and then save your file. So I already did all of that, and then you can start Apache. So to do that, Apache control start, and I'm going to run it here using sudo. And now this is running on port 8080. So now let's go into my browser, and Apache says that it works, and because we run it, we created this as the directory, then we have to run it like this with the wallet objects Quickstart PHP. So now you can see on our demo, we have 2 steps. We have the first step allows us to insert a class, and the second step allows us to save the object to our wallet using the Save to Wallet button. So as you can see, we have 2 verticals on the demo. We have loyalty and offer, and as we keep adding more verticals to the Google Wallet Objects API, then we'll be adding more buttons to this demo. So now here, if I click on Insert Loyalty Class, what this is going to be doing is it's going to be inserting the class Loyalty PHP 20 that we defined in the config. So I clicked on it, and if I look at the log, oh, I don't have the log open, but let me look at the classes here. It was PHP 20. You can see here, PHP 20. It's been created, and now if I click on Save Card to Wallet, this will save the loyalty object PHP 20 to my Google Wallet. And I'm logged in already here. If I wasn't logged in, of course, it would ask me to log in before. So on your site, you will most probably not have an insert, you won't have a insert loyalty class or insert offer class button. So these are here only for demo purposes, so you can modify your classes and play with it and save multiple times. On the Save to Wallet button though, if you are going to be using it on your site, then you will have either of these on your site. Okay, so we did that. The third step of the integration, which Peng mentioned at the beginning of the video, is the Web Service API integration. When a user goes into the Google Wallet app and they click on Explore to look at the programs that we have available, and they find your program and click on Join Now, or I'm a member and they want to link their account, what happens is that Google takes the information from the app and sends a JSON request to your Web Service API. And that is configured in the merchant dashboard. So if you go into discoverables and you click on the discoverable here, you'll see that we have the setup for the linking and the sign up. And what we're doing here is that we're saying that we want to show first name, last name, or that you want to get the first name, last name, zip code, email, and phone from the user on sign up. So Google will display those fields in the app for the user to fill out if they don't have them filled out. And then whenever they click on join, those will get sent to you in a JSON request. And then they get sent to the web service API, to the web service endpoint that we define here under merchant callback configuration. So you can see here we have whoops Quickstart PHP .appspot.com, and we're running our Quickstart on App Engine so we can test our web service API integration. And then here it's the port that if we have to run this over SSL. So if you're running on a different port, you need to modify that. And then the web service path, which for our Quickstart is web service. So once we have that, you also have to make sure that your discoverable is in draft mode. And whenever a discoverable is in draft mode, it's whitelisting it to all of the users that you have shared your account with. So you go into account management and share, and in here you'll see the accounts that have access to this discoverable. So now that we have that, we have it set up, and we can do a test from the Google Wallet app. And Peng is going to do a demo for us on how that works.
I have the Google Wallet Android app here. And within this Android app, I don't have any loyalty objects saved with this specific account. But I can discover new loyalty objects, or I can discover new loyalty programs with the discoverables that Maru was talking about. So to find one, I'm already in loyalty view. I can simply click either Add Programs or this plus button at the top. I'll just click Add Programs. Here, I can see all of the loyalty programs that are around me or that I can sign up for. Our demo program is called Bacon Risa GDL, and it's still in draft, and I'm part of the whitelist, so I can see it. So I click into that, and I have the option to either say that I'm a member and link an existing loyalty account, or to sign up. I'll just click Sign Up because I don't have the account information right now. And then when I sign up, what's happening is that it's pulling the information that's from my Google Wallet account and then pre-populating the form. I haven't defined a phone number yet, so I'll just enter that in. 5555. And then I'll select that I accept the terms and create the account. I have one extra 5. And now what's happening is that it's notifying Google to send that post request to our web service handler. Our web service handler is parsing it, creating the wallet object, creating the JOT, and responding to the server with the JOT. And then that in turn gets pushed to my account to create this wallet object that you see. So now I can take a look at what I have, and you'll see my barcode that represents my user ID and some additional information with some colorful text. And now to figure out what's going on, or to find out what's going on behind the scenes, here's Maru to describe how the code actually works.
Great, thank you, Peng. So let's look at the code now. So first thing I'm going to do is open the before we go over the web service API, let's look at the page, the index page, which is where when you run the Quickstart on your browser, you'll see the page where we have the buttons to insert the classes and then also to do the save to wallet buttons. So here you can see that we have 2 buttons for the class, and then we also have 2 divs where we display the save to wallet buttons. Then we're also including a JS file, and the JavaScript file, what it's going to do is that it's going to add actions to our buttons, and it's also going to load the save to wallet buttons. So first we look at here, and let's see, so loyalty here, the idea of this button here, when you click on it, what we're saying is that when you click on it, call insert type loyalty. And then I'll show you in the code what that's doing. And then on the second line where we have loyalty save, what we're saying is, let's see, where's the ID? So for loyalty save, we're calling an AJAX call to jot type loyalty. And this is going to then send back the jot with the loyalty object and display it back to the page and display the button back to the page. So that's for that index. Then let's look at what the jot, insert, and web service API are doing. To look at that, first we can see, where's the, I can't see. Okay, so here's the insert first. Insert PHP is the one that's going to be handling the insert handler. So in here we say if the case loyalty, what we're going to do is insert, we're going to call the REST API and call the insert method with the new loyalty class that we're generating. And the same will happen, of course, for the offer class. If we do the jot here, you can see here we have also a type loyalty. In this case, we're generating a loyalty object, and we're adding that object to our payload, and then we're creating the here we're creating the jot and we're signing it and then sending it back. We're just echoing that back to the page, which is how the button gets displayed on the page. And the last thing that we have is the web service. So the web service PHP here, let's see what this here. Okay, so in here what we're doing is that we're getting the request from Google and we're checking the parameters. So if you look at the documentation, you'll see that the request includes the wallet user information. In this case, we have first name, last name, all of the information that we selected on the merchant dashboard. So we have first name here, we're putting it here, and then we're checking that first name. And this is only for testing purposes, so we can send different codes as the first name and then test different responses on the app. So in this case, we're saying if the first name includes success, then we're going to return a success. Otherwise, we're going to return an error code. So if it's success, we are generating the loyalty object and we're putting it in the response and then sending that back. If it's not success, then we are generating, we have a web service response error, which can be either invalid linking ID or account already linked. And this is only for testing purposes, of course. You would need to make sure that you're returning the correct application code. And you can see those in our documentation. And if I'm returning that it's the wrong data or the wrong format, then we can also return which fields are invalid. In this case, we have zip code and phone. Once we have that, we also create the response body. And the response body is also a jot that gets signed and then gets also echoed back to the response. So this is how a high level of integration works with the web service API. Also, in the, let's see, we have the header that PHP includes the, let me see where that is, in here, includes the where we create the Google client, and we're using the Google client library for PHP. And in here we set our account, our private key, and our service account email address to do the authentication. So this is handling the authentication, getting your credentials, and it's also saving the token in session and then refreshing it if the token expires. So all of that is done using the API client library, so you don't need to worry about how that works. Other than that, just look through the code and the ideas that you guys also the verticals are really important here. If you look at the verticals, loyalty, for instance, you see how we're creating the loyalty class and also the loyalty object. And these are fields that we have here as test values. So the idea is for you to go and modify some of this and play with the values and see how that displays on the app once you start getting that modified. So this is it for the video today.
Yep.
We hope you find this helpful. And please look at our documentation for more detailed information on how to set up the quick starts and our tutorials. And we also have a lot of helpful videos on our Google Developer channel. You can also go to our Google Plus page or find us in Twitter.
Plus Google Wallet.
And we'll see you next time.
See you next time.